The century-old idea to close the gender gap was equal pay for equal work. But that doesn't work out very well because 80% of jobs are gendered. So if you're on the same job, okay, equal pay for equal work, but women aren't on the same jobs. So how do you do that? Well, what Jacinda Ardern, the Socialist Labour Prime Minister of New Zealand, did was start an initiative not of equal pay for equal work, but of equal pay for work of equal value, of equal skill and equal value. And the way she measured this is she looked at some of the skills. Let's say, I'll give an example, the skill of working with the elderly in an old age home or as home health aides. Home health aides are among the most poorly paid employees in the United States. Last time I looked, they charge you hire a home health aide only through a home health aid organization. They charge the customer $18 and they pay $9 an hour. Now it's probably gone up, but they get about half, which is a terrible wage. And they're all women, and they're usually immigrant women and women of color in New Zealand as they are in the United States. In New Zealand, they were mainly Maori women, because the Maoris were the native population who was colonized and oppressed like the Native Americans are here. 55 million Native Americans were slaughtered when we decided to, quote, civilize America. And Native Americans were the last to get the vote, not in every state until 1965, and are the poorest people in the United States, the worst paid. Well, the Maori were the equivalent of that in New Zealand, and so are the Pacific Islanders. They're people of color, and they filled the poorly paid care work. And so what they did was they studied, okay, what are the skills? Well, one of the skills is dealing with irrational people. Often, as old people lose their minds, they become irrational and quite violent. Not all of them, of course. All of us are somewhat different. And home health aides have to restrain them, have to hold them, have to carry them, and also have to create order for them. And equivalent skills are those of a jail warden, who often has irrational, violent people to deal with. And jail wardens were paid over 30% more than home health aides. They also studied, what is emotional labor? What is it like putting your brain and your body whole focus on meeting the needs of another human being who often can't even speak those needs? And they looked at the equivalent of that kind of work dealing with animals in a zoo, where zookeepers, who are primarily male, have to understand what these animals need, even though they don't speak. But zookeepers were paid much more than home health care workers or early childhood workers or nurses' aides in hospitals or all the other female work. And on the basis of looking at male work and what is the pay for male work and what are equivalent skills that are involved in women's work, in care work, and in assisting work, they raised caregivers' pay 30.5% across the board in New Zealand. And that was everyone from social workers and therapists to childcare workers to nursing aides to teachers' aides in school to early childhood teachers and kindergarten teachers and primary school teachers. all the people who have to deal in caring labor. That was a revolutionary move.